Hello everybody, my name is Bricky, and today I have a different video for you, but one I find rather fun and in the spirit of the recent times. The Opera GX Game Jam ran from July to August of this year with a theme of UFO and endless party mode limitation. Now, if you don't know what a game jam is, basically it's where an individual or small team attempt to make a video game from scratch in a small allotted time frame. This is normally around 1 to 3 days time. So UFO and endless party mode were the themes, and contestants attempted to create this whole video game in that time frame. This is where today's sponsor comes in because it's directly related to this game jam. If you've seen Opera GX on a few other YouTubers channels, that's because it's a web browser entirely dedicated to us GAMERS, that spells gamers. This is GXC. It's meant for people who both make and play games alike. Creators have the chance to make a game title and show it off on this browser and have us play it seamlessly. It goes from small solo projects to indie teams and even some much bigger studios. Now, am I expecting Uncharted? Of course not, but that's not the point. This kind of brings me back to the old days of stickpage.com and Ninja Kiwi, but for the modern age and for modern technology. It has tech for leaderboards to show popular games. There are also weekly prizes for playing, and GXC is a completely free application. So I want to thank GXC for sponsoring this video and coming up with the idea for this project. Go ahead and use my link below to download it and play some of the games that we are actually going to be talking about right now. See, during the Opera GX Game Jam, over 900 games were submitted, and I was given a list of 8 to choose from to both play, discuss, and review. These 8 were Oparius, Recow-necked, Offline Felines, Mice, Nettie and SETI Save the Internet, Oh No, The Alien Stole My Wi-Fi, Galaxy Highway Rush, and simply No Internet. I gave all of these a chance, and I'm pretty impressed with what was done here. Considering that these had to be made from scratch, as in completely nothing, it's pretty crazy. It displays both skill and handiwork while also finding ways to be efficient. I actually like the ideas here too because, as we all know, creating a game is at times a practice in lying, tricking your player into thinking something is one way or the other and holding back the issues, sometimes with small things like spit and tape. To an extent, all games are spit and tape. The modders behind Darkest Dungeon tell me stories about that all the time, but to be able to, in a matter of days, pull off even a simple little flash game is something that's very impressive. Now, these were the top 8 games, but for this video, I was supposed to pick 2 and discuss them specifically. I instead chose 3, mainly because I was enjoying my time with them enough and didn't want to leave one of them out. And those 3 were Oh No, The Alien Stole My Wi-Fi, Galaxy Highway Rush, and Nettie and SETI Save the Internet. Let's start with The Alien Stole My Wi-Fi. Oh No, Alien Stole My Wi-Fi is a stick-style shooter roguelite in the most basic of terms. It might not fall into that category, but it's the best way I can describe it. There is a little dialogue at the beginning that actually changes depending on whether you are connected to the internet or not, which of course is a play on the game's title. You move around in a little spaceship as a little cat, that's the UFO part, and defeat aliens in each room while collecting power-ups every so many levels. Of course, enemies get harder and harder, and you go for as long as you can. What I enjoy about this game probably the most is how fluid everything feels. Between the bouncing of your ship and the recoil from your weapon, along with the kind of rubbery feel of the enemies, it feels very fluid despite being built in only a couple of days. Text on the screen moving and all that, it really gives a sense of fluidity and chaos, which is a lot of fun. And the soundtrack is also quite bopping. Actually, the soundtrack to many of these games is actually quite good. I'm not sure if these were also built from scratch or were assets developed beforehand that they could use, but regardless, it fits very well. This game is also rather hard. I die quite a bit, and it reminds me of how challenging some of those old school games could be. Only takes a couple of shots to bring you down, and even if you are brought down, you get to be a little bouncing cat shooting at aliens still. So, honestly, not the worst fate. It's actually a little mind-boggling to me that something this fun and addicting was made in a matter of days. It's definitely a fun one. I'd check it out. The next game we had is Galaxy Highway Rush, and this one really brought the nostalgia back to me because it reminded me a lot of Jetpack Joyride. You know what I'm talking about. You were there. You procrastinated in class because of that game. This is the reason you got a C in econ. Galaxy Highway Rush involves the UFO being your little spaceship, and you need to maneuver your way through the passage without hitting any obstacles. Movement is difficult, on purpose of course, utilizing the arrow keys to push yourself around the arena, and the momentum to get you where you need to be is the name of the game here. But there is some added depth to it, where using thrust on the asteroids and other objects will give you more coins that you need to collect, allowing you to go farther in the game. And as I mentioned before, it's got a jam. Honestly, a lot of the sound design is good in this little game, and that's probably the best part of it out of the three. Enemies oncoming, the background music, even the horrifying little sound your character makes when he dies. It all sounds really good, especially to be developed on such a short time period. Plus, I mean, look how happy he is. He's damn adorable most of the time. This game even found a way to work in a mild progression system, unlocking new little UFOs as you progress and reach higher and higher scores. It's quite neat. I sunk a good hour into this one in one sitting, just because it took me back to those nostalgic days so well. Lastly, we have Netty and SETI Save the Internet. This is probably my favorite of the bunch. I'm a sucker for a good Galaga style game, and this is that. Not only that, but I'm a dog person, and you play as dogs in space with a ship fighting cat aliens. It's perfect. You even get a little comic strip in the beginning to add to it. It's got that deep, rich lore. I remember a while ago, StarCraft 2 came out, and it had the Lost Viking, or Last Viking, I forget, Galaga style spinoff that I probably played more than the actual game itself. I love these kinds of games, and I'm impressed with how much they fit into this one. For starters, music, also great. But we have multiple kinds of cat enemies, cat boss fights, a surprisingly difficult section of bullet hell dodging required, tons of upgrades, and is that not the best character screen you've ever seen? I mean, it's probably not, but it's really up there. I definitely played this one the most. I don't know what it is, but the sheer addiction I get from Galaga style games just really gets me going. It's a surprisingly large amount of fun, backed up by the colorful visuals, further backed up by the fact that it's space dogs and cats. I might actually be coming back to this one on my own time here and there when I have some minutes to spare, because it's just super enjoyable, and the art style and just kind of overall humor to it makes me very pleased. Oh No, Aliens Stole My Wi-Fi, Galaxy Highway Rush, and Netty and SETI Save the Internet. These are three very fun little games that you might sink more time than you expect into. Though, I bet you are wondering a little why I'm making this video on these indies. Well, the video is sponsored, of course, so there's the obvious part on that one. I gotta be transparent on that front. But I don't do dedicated sponsor videos often. And the reason I'm doing this one is because I want to look at Balloon Tower Defense 6, right? It's a phenomenal little game that started out just as balloons. And this little gem evolved so much farther. In 2021, with the workforce changes, the rise of anti-work, and my personal disdain for internet like douchebag hustle culture, people putting time and effort into their own projects like this is exciting. I am someone who built my own brand and business, and the prospect that someone can pull off something similar by making a fun little indie title that might catch on is both wholesome and exciting. Now, this video might not have these three games take off, but it might have some of you go download GXC and find some for yourself. A lot of people might call that luck, but luck is just hard work and opportunity meeting. Good timing from luck means nothing if your product sucks. But GXC does not suck, and neither did these three games I just played. So I would implore you to give it a shot and tell me what you think. As for Q&A questions right here, I want to answer just one important one, which is, are DQ blizzards overrated? And as someone who worked at Dairy Queen, that entirely depends on what you get. If you keep on getting the Oreo one, yeah, I'd say it is a little bit overrated. However, if you're getting things like the, was it chocolate fudge or chocolate extreme? Things like that, or like the cookie dough ones, those feel pretty good. DQ blizzards are fine. The difference is that you just need to alter your flavor choices very often. Is it as good as getting ice cream from some other major area? Probably not, but I mean, you're not going to Dairy Queen for the highest of quality. You're going there to get some quick ice cream. Anyway, next video will be out hopefully in a week or so, maybe a little bit less, but it all depends on how long it takes for the editing and filming process. Thank you for watching this quick little in-between video, and I will be seeing you next time.